Thanks, councillors. Hindmarsh Shire Council acknowledges that this meeting is being held on the lands of the Watchabala, Jardwa, Valley, Werribee and Juppagol nations, and we acknowledge them as traditional owners of country. We recognise the important ongoing role that Indigenous people have in our community and pay our respects to their elders past and present. This meeting is being broadcast on the internet and the recording of the meeting will be published on the council's Facebook page and YouTube channel. As a visitor in the public gallery, you may be filmed. By remaining in the public gallery, you consent to being filmed and for the recording of you to be made public available by the council. A copy of the council's live streaming and recording of council meetings policy is available at the back of this room and the council's website. Please speak with one of our staff members if you have any questions. Thank you.
Also, the statement, I'll read that too. So our commitment is to come prepared to every meeting, fostering a respectful and inclusive environment where accountability and approachability are at the core of our actions. We value and encourage innovation, collaboration, and open communication, always keeping in mind the well-being and needs of our community. Together, we stand united as one, working towards shared goals with mutual respect and consideration. Thank you.
Okay. Item 2, apologies.
We have an apology from Council's Director of Infrastructure, Ram Upadhyaya.
Okay, and that's all. Okay. Item 3, declarations of interest. Is there any councillor or officer with a conflict of interest, either general or material? Any item on the agenda? No? Okay. Item 4, confirmation of minutes. And I have a recommendation. Councillor Barker. Yep.
The recommendation that the minutes of firstly, the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday, the 23rd of October, 2024 at the council chamber, 92 Nelson Street, Nil. And secondly, the special annual statutory meeting held on Wednesday, the 13th of November, 2024 at the council chamber, 92 Nelson Street, Nil, as circulated to councillors, is taken as read and confirmed in the attachments 3 to 4.
Thank you, Councillor Barker. Of a seconder. Councillor Clark. No further comment. If not, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against? The motion is carried. Thank you. Item 5, public question and submission time.
No.
No. Correspondence, nil. Assembly of Councillors records, nil. Planning permits, nil. Item 9, reports requiring decision. 9.1, domestic animal management plan review. Responsible officer, Director of Infrastructure Services. Are there any questions from councillors?
Yes. Okay. In this report for the domestic animal review plan, there's a discrepancy in the euthanasia rates on pages 6 to 10. So I'm just wondering if you're able to clarify the euthanasia of the dogs and cats in 2023 to 2024.
We have our local laws officer currently looking into the figures and will amend the plan to reflect the accurate figures.
Thank you. I also I'm also seeing in that report that the low cost assessing has been that program has been cancelled. So I'm wondering if there's been any other applications for grants, or has there been consideration of applying for a grant that can help the community who are on a healthcare card or such to be able to get that desexing done for free, due to the consideration of the difficulty in getting to a vet in Horsham or Warrnambool from here. So I'm just wondering what kind of programs there are that may help with that in the future.
Yes, so council received funding for a low-cost desexing program for people with concession cards, and we ran it. We had 25 cats desexed through that program before the funding was all expended, and we will continue to look for that. But as you mentioned, one of the barriers we've noticed is that vets aren't within the Shire. So if we were to look for that funding again, we would be looking at a way to make accommodations for transport to make it easier for people to access that. There is funding that comes out for low-cost desexing, whether it's for councils or for vet clinics themselves regularly. So that's something that our local laws team are constantly looking out for.
And also the concern is the number of cats compared to dogs that are being euthanized. So it certainly seems that there needs to be a focus on what are we doing about cats and the hoarding of cats. And, you know, animals, our domestic pets are very popular with people, you know, and they may have more than they're meant to, and then they're afraid to engage. So it'd be interesting I'm wondering if we can look at what other councils are doing to bring down those numbers, considering across the 5 years that is mentioned in this report, that it hasn't really changed. There's just been consistently the same number of cats being euthanized.
Absolutely. We will do some homework with our neighbouring councils.
Thank you.
Okay, no further questions. We have a recommendation here. Someone like to move recommendation?
I'd like to make the recommendation that the council notes the review domestic animal management plan 2021-2025 with minor editorial changes and receives the detailed outcomes achieved during 23-24.
Thank you. And a seconder? Councillor Barker? Would you like to speak to the motion? Councillor Barker?
I look forward to hearing and making new plans to, you know, to work with this program in the future. Thank you.
Is there anyone wanting to speak against the motion?
Oh, sorry, no, my
Okay.
apologies. No, no, speak against the
All right,
motion.
okay, if not, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against? Motion's carried, thank you. Item 9.2, Dimboola Minyip Road, Lachlan Netherby Road and Lachlan Road Safer Local Roads and Infrastructure Program grant applications. And Director of Infrastructure Services. Are there any questions from councillors? No? Okay, well, we have a recommendation. So is someone prepared to move a motion? Councillor Clark?
In the exercise of the powers conferred by the legislation referred to.
Sorry.
Oh. Oh, no, my apologies. My apologies, I was a bit mixed up with that one. I'd also move recommendation if I may, Mayor.
Absolutely.
The council approves the application under Safer Local Road and Infrastructure Program for Dimboola Minyip Road and Lachlan Netherby and Lachlan Road upgrades, and refers an allocation of $287,843, comprising council's co-contribution to the 2025-2026 draft budget.
Thank you, councillor Clark. Is there a seconder?
Yes.
Councillor Barry, would you like to speak to that motion?
I'd just like to speak to that motion, simply that I'm an infrequent traveller on one of these roads and a very frequent traveller on these roads, and they are certainly in need of attention and repair.
Thank you. Councillor Barry, would you like? Okay, all right. Is there anyone that wants to speak against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against? Motion carried. Thank you. Item 9.3, Hindmarsh Shire swimming pools. And again, are there any questions from councillors? No?
Yes.
Yes?
This recommendation is talking about the $5 charge for lap swimming and swimming outside of hours, as well as some other charges for, covering school swimming and paid lessons and groups. I wonder about the lap swimming. Will it be either side of the opening or closing hours? And do we assume that a lifesaver will be present?
I'm happy to answer that question. Yes, it will be outside of opening hours. It's likely to be prior to the pool's opening during the day, and there will be a lifeguard present, which is why we have the small charge.
And do I assume, because we've talked previously about how people, the pools are free in our Hindmarsh Shire, which has been absolutely fantastic and has been going really well for our area. Do I assume that the people will come to council, or will there be somebody there who's taking the money for entry to do laps?
So those that are wanting to pay the $5 for lap swimming will visit one of our customer service centres in Nil, Dimboola, Parrot or Rainbow and pay their money. And there will be a system where they will be given a voucher. Depending if they pay $5, they'll receive one voucher. If they pay $10, they'll receive 2 vouchers, and they'll present the voucher to the lifeguard upon entry to the pool for the lap swimming.
Thank you. No further questions.
Okay, no further questions, a recommendation. Councillor Barker.
The recommendation is that council approves the fees for Hindmarsh outdoor pools, whose $5 charge, including GST, for lap swimming or swimming outside of public open hours per single occasion. Secondly, $52.50 excluding GST per hour per lifeguard for school swimming activities. And thirdly, $25 excluding GST for paid lessons per group per single occasion.
Thank you, Councillor Barker. Have I got a seconder? Councillor Oy, thank you. Would you like to speak to this motion?
Yes, I would. I think this is a very reasonable cost for participants utilising our pools. And we've been very lucky, and we've had enormous engagement with the pools, since we made them free. And other councils are looking to us to leading that way. And there's been lots of children and people generally enjoying these facilities. I think it's been a great move by council to make it for free, and these costs are very reasonable for people who want to do laps and school activities and swimming lessons. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Barker. Councillor Oy, you don't want to comment? Do you?
Just for the community, to encourage the community to continue using it for we're connecting with each other and health benefits as well. So
yeah, thank you. No speakers against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against? Motion's carried, thank you. I take it, Councillor Aitken, your voting's a little bit slow. That might be a time lapse, is it?
I believe so.
Thank you. Item 9.4, delegations and authorisations. And again, are there any questions from councillors? If not, we have a recommendation. Councillor Clark.
Sorry, Mayor, is my recommendation there. I jumped the gun a bit earlier because I've been looking into this anyway. The recommendation is in the exercise of the powers conferred by the legislation referred to in the attached Section 18 Instrument of Subdelegation under the Environment Protection Act 2017, Section 11A Instrument of Delegation under the Planning and Environment Act 1987, and Section 5 Instrument of Delegation from Council to the Chief Executive Officer. Council resolves that, and I'll just make note here that item 1 or point 1, that the financial limitation in Section 1.1 and 1.2 of the Instrument of Delegation to the Chief Executive Officer be amended to $250,000 excluding GST, and that the following 5 instruments or 5 paragraphs there be numbered 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Yeah, so that's my recommendation.
Thank you, councillor Clark. Is there a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second that one.
Councillor Barry, would you like to speak to that motion?
I think in simple understanding in relation to this matter, the delegation simply refers to more sort of minor items or items that we're delegating to the Chief Executive Officer to be able to approve under very strict rules and regulations, so that matters aren't held up by having to come to council for voting, etc. Delegations ensure council can operate efficiently and allow councillors to remain focused on strategic matters and community leadership, rather than being operationally focused. There is one delegation, one authorisation and one sub-delegation being presented today. And that's, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Barry?
Well, in this day and age, everything costs a lot more, and especially the way that's all worded, that compounding to get to 250 for the year won't take long. That's why we're like.
Thank you. Any speakers against the motion? If not, put the motion. All in favour? Against? Motion's carried. Thank you. Item 9.5, council interaction with staff policy. Mrs. Rebel. Oh, sorry. Are there any questions from councillors? No? If not, there is a recommendation. Councillor Barker.
I would like the council to recommend to adopt the councillor interaction with staff policy.
Good. And a seconder? Councillor Hoy? Need to speak to that, Councillor Barker?
I'd like to say it is important for the public to utilise the website to communicate any issues and that they're seeing in our community, because you'll always get responded to. So I think that's really great. And when we are able to say that as councillors, it develops that understanding that councillors do not have the ability to engage with day-to-day operations, and there's a very strong staff led by our new CEO, Ms. Ravel, and so far the support from our CEO has been immediate when we've had any concerns raised, and this policy allows councillors to focus more on the big picture for the future and create strategies that empower our municipality. So I think it's makes a lot of sense for us to streamline how everyone is engaging. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hoy?
Well said, Councillor.
All right, thank you. No speakers against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against? Motion's carried. Thank you. Item 9.6, financial report for the period ending 20th of September 2024. Are there any questions from councillors?
Yes.
Councillor Barker.
As we are aware of financial impacts of interest rate increases, and some ratepayers may be impacted. So I was wondering if the CEO or someone from council would be able to reiterate the ability or strategies that ratepayers can engage with, and if they're running into any financial difficulties.
Answer this question. Council's very happy to work with community members that are experiencing financial difficulties. We have a number of options available that people can utilise in relation to payment of accounts or payment of rates. We have BPay options and post-bill pay options, and both of those options, community members are able to set up a payment frequency that suits themselves. They may set up a weekly, a fortnightly or a monthly payment. And they're able to choose the amount that they'd like to pay on that ongoing basis. We also have the option of direct debit, and council's able to set that up on behalf of the community members. Again, they can select the frequency, but also with direct debit, they can opt for council to debit the rates when they're due on a quarterly basis, or they can opt to pay their full rates for the year as well as part of the direct debit. As I said, we're more than happy to work with people. We also have customer service centres in each of our 4 towns where people can come in and make regular payments, cash or FPOS, or cheque is accepted.
That's great, thank you. I also do note on in the financial report about infringement debtors. So I'm just interested, and I'm wondering if the community is also interested in what an infringement debtor is.
An infringement debtor is where a community member or somebody visiting Hindmarsh may have been issued an infringement. It could be in relation to parking in a disabled zone or a no standing zone. It could be in relation to a fire prevention notice where there has been a notice to comply issued and no action taken. It could be in relation to an animal at large or an animal attack or other animal related matters.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? If not, there is a recommendation. Councillor Barker?
Recommend that council notes the financial report for the period ending 30th of September 2024 as presented in attachment number 11.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Clark, thank you. Would you like to speak to the motion, Councillor? Sorry, Councillor Barker.
No, I think that there's a lot of effort that's gone into creating these financial reports, and they're very detailed. And there's, you know, good use of graphics and things that make it easy to read as well. Yeah, thank you for all that work to present it.
Councillor Clark.
No, thank you.
Okay, no one want to speak against the motion? Just before I do put the motion, I'd like to also comment on this. This is a very important part of our organisation, and it's always in my experience, has always been very well done and still continues to be. The people that work in the background doing all this, and our CEO once upon a time was terribly involved in all this, and it's always been done very, very well. So I pay tribute to the people that put all these financial reports together. There's a lot of work goes into it. So I'll put the motion. All in favour? Not voting, councillor. Motion carried, thank you. Sorry. Item 9.7, Council Plan Action Plan 2024-25 Q1 update. Any questions? Councillor Clark.
Yeah, just in relation to this, the action plan and the transparency that has occurred in the last, or I've noticed a very, very serious uptick in the amount of transparency and information coming out of council, out of the Shire offices here. Would this transparency and very open contact that I've been seeing be continuing for the rest of the year and into next year?
Yes, so we are continually looking to improve our communication with the community and our transparency. And so we've introduced the fortnightly e-newsletters. We now have a hard copy monthly newsletter available in our customer service centres and libraries. And we also have the hard copy quarterly newsletter that's emailed out. We're utilising Facebook a lot more as well. We are consolidating our newspaper adverts so that we are seeing a quarter page advert in all of our local papers where there's information that we want to communicate with the community. But we are certainly welcome feedback from the community on other ways that they would like to make sure that everything that's happening in council is communicated well with the community. We'll also continue with the CEO drop-in sessions, and once the new councillors have completed their induction training, you will also see the new councillors out and about in the community as well.
I think your staff has done a brilliant job, yourself and your staff. Yeah.
Okay. I have a recommendation, sorry. Oh, sorry.
In this council
Page.
plan, action plan. There's discussion about the work that the volunteers do. And there are a lot of volunteers in our Hindmarsh Shire. They do an enormous amount of work, and where would we be without them? I think, I would just like to, it does mention that there is a volunteer support worker. I'm not sure who that is. I just thought it might be useful for, our CEO to let us know that, and also how do potential people who are wanting to be volunteers, how that could be something in a newsletter or something, or if you can tell us how they make contact if they're wanting to volunteer with something, because there's lots of really good projects and activities for them to be involved with in our community.
Council has over 100 volunteers across the 4 main towns that certainly assist to run a lot of activities and council assets that we would be unable to staff due to our small team that we have and our limited funds. So recently we have employed a volunteer support coordinator so that the volunteers in our community have one point of contact in Hindmarsh. Our volunteer coordinator is Bernie O'Loughlin, and Bernie works 3 days per week. Anyone that's interested in volunteering with council can get in touch with Bernie. Bernie's looking at developing newsletters that will be going out as well. We certainly can put information in our upcoming newsletters as well on the volunteering opportunities within Hindmarsh, but feel free to give us a call or to pop into any of our customer service centres, and we're happy to have a chat to people about how they can volunteer in Hindmarsh.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have a recommendation. There's no other questions, please. Councillor Barry?
No, recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that council receives a council action plan 2024-2025 first court update.
Thank you. And a seconder? Councillor Barker? Like to speak to the motion?
Yeah, well, if you go through it, there's a lot going on, a lot of percentage points and everything. So moving forward, let's hopefully the percentage points gets a bit more up and we'll know Q2.
Yeah. Councillor Barker?
Yes, I'd like to say I agree with Councillor Barry. I think that the work that's being done utilising the NIL, the community centre has just been great. You know, bringing our community together with really great activities. The expansion of the kindergartens in Nil and Dimboola reflect the increase in population and success at attracting younger families to live and work in our Shire. And that's really exciting. It's a great evidence, and we've acted on that as a Shire. And there is discussion here about after school care will need to be looked into, because if we're getting bigger classes, we're going to be having parents who are needing that after school care as well. So I think there's been some really great movements in that area. Thank you.
Thank you. No speakers against the motion. If not, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against? Motion carried. Thank you. Item 10.1, advisory committees. Are there any questions from councillors? No? There is a recommendation there in that case. Councillor Barker?
Recommend that the council notes the minutes of the following advisory committees. Firstly, the Jupara Township meeting held on the 9th of September 2024. And secondly, the Nil Township meeting held on the 19th of November 2024. And the attachments are 12 and 13.
Very good. And I'll second it.
Yeah.
Councillor Barry? Sorry, Councillor Adrian, your time lapse. You're never going to catch us. Anyway, Councillor Barker, would you like to speak to your motion?
I attended the Nil Township meeting, and there's a number of activities that are planned here in Nil. Got the street party on Friday, the 6th of December, and we've also got the carols at the Sound Shell on Saturday, the 14th of December. We had a great turnout for those things in past years, so it'd be really great to see everyone again. And I think also the Nil Town Committee does need more volunteers and more people to demonstrate their interest to really build this community momentum for different events. across the year ahead. So it'd be really great if anyone is keen to get involved. That'd be great.
Thank you. Councillor Barrett? No. No one wants to speak against the motion? If not, put the motion, all in favour? Against, motion carried, thank you. 10.2, community asset committees. Are there any questions?
Yeah, just in relation to this item, one relates to the Wimmera Mallee Pioneer Museum. The other one relates to the Urunga Homestead. Would we be able to just take into account the delay because Councillor Aiken may wish to address something about the Wimmera Mallee Pioneer Museum? I'm aware he's got involvement in that.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Clark. I went to our first meeting last Monday, I'll say again Tuesday afternoon. The meeting started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I elected to go down earlier in the day to meet with the committee and have a walk around, and was to re-familiarise myself with the area. Look, they've done a terrific job down there and done a magic cleanup. I was very impressed with the site. And with our first meeting, sitting on the meeting and having been down there for a long time, it was run very well. I don't really have any notes from the meeting itself, but that'll come up in our next council meeting in next month, I believe. Thanks, Councillor Clark.
Okay, are there any other questions? Not there's a recommendation.
I'll move the recommendation. And that recommendation, council notes the minutes of the following community asset committees and the Wimmera Mallee Pioneer Museum meeting held on the 16th of September, and also the Urunga Homestead meeting held on the 16th of September 2024 with it as attachment numbers 14 and 15.
Thank you. And a seconder? Councillor Aiken. Wonderful. Okay, would you like to speak to that motion, Councillor Clark?
Yeah, certainly. I've deferred to Councillor Aiken in relation to the Wimmera Mallee Pioneer Museum. The Urunga Homestead meetings again being held this Thursday. Unfortunately, I'm an apology. I have been forwarded their minutes from the previous meeting and their agenda for this meeting, and I am absolutely blown away with the quality and the amount of work that the small committee, the Urunga Homestead, is undertaken on our behalf.
Thank you. Councillor Aiken, you'd like to speak to the motion?
Absolutely. Look, again, with the Jeparit Pioneer Museum, a magnificent job, and also with the activity up at Urunga, showing all the people through after the train event that came up. They did a great job, the volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you. No one wants to speak against the motion? If not, put the motion, all in favour? Against, the motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, item 11, late reports. Nil. No notices of motion. Other business.
Yeah.
Councillor, I was going to go the other way. Well, we'll start with you, Councillor Barger.
In the short time that I've been a councillor for West Ward here, we have had the Nil Town Committee, which was amazing to see so fewer people organising so much. And then we had the 16 days of activism against gender inequality and domestic violence, and it was just an amazing turnout from Nil to see so many men, women, children, dogs, goats come and walk down to the lake, and our mayor came down from Rainbow to be with us, and it was just lovely to see the beautiful work that was done by the CFA for the barbecue as well. And it just shows that we as a community are aware of the issues with domestic violence and gender inequality, and we're going to call it out when we see it. And also been to the Dimboola Sound Shell, and all of us as a councillor team were there. And it was, you know, it was just not the greatest weather. If it had been great weather, I'm sure it would have been like jams. The music was amazing. It was a lovely night. And also, you know, the committee they've got there in Dimboola doing the barbecue as well. It just shows what a great community and a great shire we have. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Councillor Clark. Any business you would like to raise?
No, not this
No?
stage, thank you.
Councillor Barry?
No, just, it's all new to us, taking me time, to get used to it before.
Sorry, I missed, thank you. I missed Councillor Aiken, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, it was off on the hop from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week, and then Saturday evening down to Dimboola. But so far enjoying it. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Councillor Oy.
I think the feedback so far about the change of the CEO and the direction of council has been very favourable, accessible. I think there's some indication that change is taking place, so I'm really excited about it. So thank you everyone for being part of that.
Thank you, Councillor Oy, and I agree. I think it's great. I'm quite excited about the new representation in all ways, including the CEO. Okay, we're about to go into confidential. Sorry.
James.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, one last thing, just yesterday I went out to the trailer exchange. They have a lot of stuff going on out there. And tonight and last night, SES police, any truck guys get out there, they should just go have a look, see what's going on, so get their confidence up. So instead of getting pulled up and worrying, you get pulled up and say hi.
Nice.
Amazing technology they got.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, nothing further. I'd just like to thank everyone out there that's been watching this first council of the new Shire Council meeting today. I think everything went very smoothly, and thank you all again. We'll now move into confidential, and we'll see you again in a month's time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
someone needs to read the recommendation. Councillor Clark, sorry.
I just recommend, just with what you're saying there, Mayor, that the meeting be closed in accordance with section 66(2)(a) of the Local Government Act 2020. To consider reports that contain confidential information as defined in section 3 of the Local Government Act 2020 and or part 4 of the Freedom of Information Act. And this relates to an item numbered 14.1.
Thank you. And a seconder. Councillor Barry. All in favour?